All right, guys, big thank you from Dub South. So, this tutorial, I want to show you how to add SCSS, or rather, how to add a build script to a newly installed WordPress website. Because normally, a lot of people, when they build WordPress websites, they tend to do lots of custom themes. So they're not really they pass through this phase of like doing something from the scratch using WordPress. So either they go use Elementor. So a lot of things already they out of the box, right? So if you install a new WordPress website from scratch, say maybe you use this local software now, you create a brand new WordPress site, as I don't create here now, called WordPress FSE, and you want to add a build script so that you use SCSS and do stuff with JavaScript and those fancy stuff. So maybe do GSAP animations, like everything they customize but to WordPress. I will show you how you add those things right now. So as I talked before now, I already created WordPress FSC, this website, using this local software to create WordPress sites. And if I open up the files, must see, I think the thing open here, I'm gonna put some here. Okay. So if I click on sites folder and go to app, public, content, themes, the 2025 theme, which is one of the default themes where they come with WordPress when you install WordPress newly. I'll just drag this thing down here to my VS Code, and it will open up this folder for me inside VS Code. So I can increase this in a little bit. So now, if you see the basic files ready for inside this theme now, because this theme now a full site editing theme from WordPress, and normally you get your functions with PHP and just a single style.scss where you can add your styles. But if you want to do a lot of advanced stuff with SCSS and do some interesting things with JavaScript, they're not really give us way to do this out of the box. But if you go to their documentation, they already provide how you go do this thing using WP scripts. So WP scripts now are WordPress way to make you add a build script now to your WordPress custom themed website, so that you do all these fancy stuffs. So how you go to add that WordPress script now and start to build all these things now. So the very first thing what you need to do, you're going to need to go to this particular site, which is developer.wordpress.org site. Now that you get all the resources about custom theme building, a whole lot of things there for that site. But we want to focus on advanced topics and this build process. And I will drop the link to this particular page for the description of the video, so that I can use it for you to access it. So now if you look the build process, I don't really go and we'll not read everything here, but I'll just show you how to start right away. So the most important thing is where you need now. If you look prerequisite now, it say you need this Node.js and npm installed for your local machine. So obviously you will need to install these things, and there's a lot of tutorials out there for you to go about installing these stuffs. And it says you need a basic understanding of Webpack. So if you understand Webpack, fine. But if you don't understand, we'll not really need to learn them for the purpose of this tutorial, because I'll show you what you need to do now to set up this particular WordPress scripts. So now, what I could do, I'll call my inline terminal for my VS Code editor, and the first thing I could do is I could make sure I'd use one of the latest version of my Node Node.js installs. So I use NVM now, which is Node, like NVM, the app install different nodes, node versions for your system. So if you switch between different node versions. So I will use node version 22, which is like one of the latest. So I will say NVM use 22. And it could tell me say now using version 22. So when I do this, the next thing I need to do is it says setting up your files and folders, but we're not really worry about this yet. Or you know what? More just create this package.json first. So I'll copy this contents where they here. Then I'll come the root of my project folder. I'll say new file package.json. Then I'll paste the content where I copy from this site now. I'll paste them inside the package.json file. Then I'll change the name. I'll just say WordPress FSE, the project name. So the next thing I need to do is we need to install these 3 items: the WordPress scripts, these parts, Webpack, remove empty script, and save as dev. So I'll just copy this code. I'll come my terminal here, then I'll paste. I'll click enter. So it will take some time to download all these libraries and install. But while this in the download now, we'll set up our folder, which is this folder for the top here now. So you see, I'll say for the list of folder here, we will need to create a new folder, call resources. Then inside these resources, I'll create a JavaScript folder because this slash now, so in a folder, this JavaScript in a folder, this SCSS in a folder. So inside this JavaScript folder, now we'll create editor.js. Inside this SCSS folder, we'll create editor.scss and screen.scss. So editor.scss basically now it will contain this styles. So maybe like say we go use this style the editor part or the block editor part of our WordPress site. While this screen.scss now will actually contain styles for the front part of the website, but we'll not really need this editor CSS because since the full site editing, we most likely want how the front to look to be the same as the back, but we're not really going to doing a lot of styling and this kind of stuff. So probably in a future tutorial, I will show you why you actually even need editor.css or something. And then again, you need to know that in order to compose, you say you must name them editor.js or editor.scss or screen.scss. It could be style, it could be main or anything. But for the purpose of this tutorial and how the structure I'm here, we'll just keep the same to these naming conventions what they use here. So this level don't install finish now. I'll close my terminal. And you see, I say the dev dependency now, they should say we'll get WordPress script version 30, the parts, and the Webpack remove empty scripts. So the next thing I'll do now, mind you, this resources folder is still empty, right? But I'll create this webpack.config.js. So I'll come in a new file, webpack config.js, and inside the resources, new folder, JS, another folder again, SCSS, and I'll create a new file, screen.scss. Then I'll duplicate this file and call it editor.scss. Just duplicate this one inside the JS. And to duplicate now, at the click on option, then the drag the file to the folder to duplicate, right? So enough for that. And this one I'll just call them editor.js. So we'll leave this one here. So now we'll get these files. The next thing we need to do now, this webpack.config.js will create. If we scroll down on the documentation, you see where it says configuring Webpack. So you say WP scripts package is built on top of Webpack. If you're building a block, everything would already be in place for you. However, because you're building a team, you need to override some of the default configuration of WP scripts package with your own. So that's where the team's custom webpack.config.js file comes in. So if we carry on, all we need to do, we just need to copy this code right here now. So I'll just copy this code, then I'll paste down. So now when I paste, I'll save, and wait till the thing they do, it basically look for this resources.js folder SCSS. Then when it build, it will save onto JS SCSS and this SCSS folder inside a public folder will go appear for you by the time we do our build. So more test run. And the code there is so you say npm run start. If you look at package.json now, npm run start now. Now you go start the build process. Then if you do npm run build now, like if one build for production, but we'll just open our terminal again. Why this thing not the open quick save? Most times I'm not the one close on because it's a bit of stress person. Now we'll see. Most times I'll just leave on half like this instead of closing it. I'll just leave on half like this. But any Ashamokara. So I'll clear everything here first. Then I'll say npm run starts. So now npm run starts. You see I'm saying the build process does start and public folder dot create here. And inside the public folder now you get SCSS, editor.s, it gets CSS, editor.css and screen.css. Then inside the JS now you get editor.js, right? So everything now will be like say we will write for inside this our style sheets now for the editor and the screen now. The build process it will build them, then it will save them inside this inside the CSS folder now for the same file where you say editor CSS and screen CSS. So what we need to do now to make sure say our WordPress team now go start to read from these files where they inside the public folder, because now if we come this screen.css now we call this something like say body let's say background color should be green. Also the background color should be green. And we save. It can actually build successfully. And if we go to the SCSS now, this same screen.css file, you see it say body background green. If we come down here and I can see more do something like more targets a WordPress heading, say WP block heading, and do something like color is equals to let's say yellow, right? If we go back to the screen now, see and say it a build. But right now, if we use the sample page now, I go edit and I go open up from one side. So right now, if we reload the front, you see and say not the send anything yet. So for us to make sure see you see these files, we'll go open our functions.php file now. We'll go open the functions.php file, then right to the end now, Again, one code will paste here. So if I go back to the build process now, so I scroll now, they tell you now, so okay, loading the script and styles. We need to include asset, all those things. So we just need to come down here and copy this very last code where they are, right? So I'll copy this code and I'll just say loading in custom same assets and we'll paste. So what this code is doing as well, it will look for the path now to screen.scss, which is public CSS screen.scss. It will look for the path now to editor JS and editor CSS as well. So I'll save this. So when I save this now, the team now supposed to see this file now, and I'll come the front, I'll do a refresh, and you see and say, you see our background color of green. If I go back and I change this to say red and save, if I come back refresh now, it will see the red color. So now it will see our CSS files now where they compile from this SCSS file. So we're not to see yellow yet because none of these my changes ready. Enter my own. Okay. My changes to say gray, then orange, red. And now they see this WP block heading because whenever I add any heading file here. So after the sample page now, just come here, I'll type heading. Then this is example heading. So if I refresh, you see now where they see heading now, you see the code where they target WP block heading, which is our WordPress heading element, which is this orange red here, right? So like this now, we don't add build scripts and if you do SCSS stuff, so if you do custom JavaScript stuff, so if you install GSAP, do all those animation and fancy stuffs, everything custom built. Now, if we go back to the editor, the block editor now, and we do a refresh, you go see and see the same styling where they affect this front now, you see they affect this back. Why? Because if you look at our functions.php file, this code will be like so paste. If you look at it, actually the talk here. The team assets now, which is this assets, and mind you, this team slug, if you change them to the actual name of our team, say maybe WordPress FSC assets, but for now I'll just leave it like this because we don't want to deviate. So this team slug asset now, you see and see it points to screen.scss, and this one I will show for the front. Then for this back now, if you scroll down, you see this hook now, they say editor styles. So this same editor styles, it points to the screen.scss, which is still the same, screen.css, which is still the same file where we place all our styles. And if you reason them, that's not how it's supposed to be normally, because the same style where like say we want to see for the front here, now we want to see for the back here. But if for some reason you want to use a different style entirely or something, I don't know why, what you need to do is this editor style now, if you change it to say editor.css, right? And it go stop to target this SCSS file now. It go start to target this other editor.scss, all the files that you placed here. So if we reload, you see and see, you know, they see that style again because now we target a different file entirely. And if we reload the front, you see they see the styles of the front. So if you say maybe copy all these codes here, paste them for this editor, change this to something like more uses version, then the red, we change them to something like this, just something random, and reload. So now you see, I say the editor style now, it collect a different style entirely, while the actual style where everybody will fonts go see now, they collect a different style entirely. But I not really they work this way because we not really need this editor.css file for most of the things so we'll likely need to do. So I'll take this back to screen.css so that the same way where your site visitors go to see the front, then are the same way where the admin where they call edit go to see the back as well. So now I will wrap this tutorial up and I'll see you over the next tutorial.